I'm Greg Mullins, Commissioner of Fire and Rescue New South Wales. I'm here today in Sydney's northern beaches, a beautiful sunny day, pristine bushland adjoining homes. I grew up not far from here and I grew up with bushfires. I knew that the bushland was a great place to play and work and to be around, to live near, but it's also very, very dangerous. I joined the Bushfire Brigade as a teenager with my father, and when I was old enough I became a full-time firefighter with Fire and Rescue New South Wales. Back in 1994, some people might remember the firestorms of '94. I was an inspector in charge of the fires in the Lane Cove Valley. On one of those days, the fire ran, 17 homes were destroyed, 34 other homes were severely damaged. I remember going to one street, which I knew well, and I thought every home will be destroyed there because there was a steep slope behind them. And I got there and none of them had been burned. And the deciding factor was an old World War II hose post. The local fire station had worked with the local residents, kept updating the hoses. They were able to get hydrants to work and save their own homes because there weren't enough firefighters on that day. We had fires everywhere. So just a few years later, in 1997, major bushfires struck Sydney again, this time in Menai in the south and Warramoo in the lower Blue Mountains. Whilst we lost some houses in those fires, we didn't lose nearly as many as we would have on a normal day because we had community fire units. So learning from the experiences of the '94 fires, a young officer thought, why not equip local residents so that on those terrible days when we simply don't have enough firefighters and enough fire trucks to go round, residents can help themselves. And that was the birth of the CFU program. When I've spoke to people in the early years about the benefits of the CFUs, of course they said it's great, we can protect our own homes, we know more about bushfire. But one of the things that came out, I heard stories about people walking to the bus stop, nodding to someone for 20 years but not knowing their name. All of a sudden they found out who their neighbours were, they started to have street Christmas parties and relationships built. And we've found that that's been a really powerful thing in bringing communities together and making them safer too. So from those early beginnings, the program went from strength to strength. Then New Year's Day 2002, again we had major bushfires in the Lane Cove Valley. I was an assistant commissioner by then, director of operations. I went to Lane Cove Valley because I'd been in charge in 1994 and I wanted to see how operations were going. It was really different. All over the place there were blue overalls, the homes were well prepared, there were CFU volunteers behind every home. That was the deciding factor. We didn't run out of fire trucks or firefighters that day like I did in 1994, which was when the houses burnt down, because the fire crews were able to keep ahead of the main fire front and leave the CFU volunteers to mop up and look after their own homes. Not one home was lost. Come forward to today, we have more than 7,000 volunteers and more than 600 units throughout the state. It's a fantastic program. You're making a real difference to yourself and to your community, and I commend you for what you do.